From now until the end of today's stream, you will have the option to purchase personalized autographs and one-on-one chats with your favorite celebrities at GalaxyCon.com. GalaxyCon is the copyright holder of this video content. The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyrighted work is strictly prohibited.
Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today we are going back to heaven, hell, and LA, and everything else in between with two diabolically darling guests from Lucifer. And now's the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for them. Immediately after this session, you will have the opportunity to talk to them directly through our private chat options, as well as shop our selection of personalized autographs, all of which are available now at GalaxyCon.com. So without further ado, let's go on down to Club Lux and see who we find. Our first guest is an actress whose credits include The Librarian, Spartacus, and Gotham. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the Mistress of Excess turned demonic bounty hunter, Mazikeen. Please welcome, better known as Maze, please welcome Leslie Ann Brandt.
Hi.
Hey, Leslie, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
I am well in my corner of the world, and I love that artwork you got going on behind you.
Thank you. My husband actually did this.
Hey, props to your husband. That's some really good stuff. Has he got a website that we can find his stuff at?
No.
Or an Instagram or something?
Hobby that he does. We're actually trying to redo this room so we can hang some of his artwork up.
Awesome, very awesome. Well, hopefully we'll have you back and we'll be able to see more of it.
Yes.
I look forward to that. Thank you. And I really loved your turn in Gotham.
Oh, thank you. I know it was like one episode, and they had talked about maybe doing more, but then Lucifer was on literally directly after Gotham, so they were like, you can't be on two shows back to back. And I was like, why not?
And two DC comic inspired shows as well.
Exactly, yeah. Copperhead and Mazikeen, yeah.
Yes. Well, you know, so who knows? Gotham may come back. We'll see. But hey, Gotham's loss was definitely Lucifer's gain.
Yeah, I mean, they were a great lead-in show for us, and yeah, it's been a crazy ride since then.
Absolutely.
Since those Fox days.
Oh, yeah. And the ride is about to get crazier because our next guest is an actor whose body work includes Merlin, Doctor Who, and Miranda. Today, he joins us to discuss the role of the Sovereign of Hell turned LAPD consultant, Lucifer Morningstar, and occasionally his twin brother, Michael. Please welcome Tom Ellis.
Hello.
Tommy.
Hey.
Hello. I haven't quite got the same lovely artwork as LA. I've got my microwave actually behind me.
Well, that is
giving away where I am actually. I'm in the UK at the moment.
It's a very shiny, lovely microwave.
Thanks. I've just had it polished.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's like, I'm sure Detective Sergeant Sam Speed will be asking where the microwave is to everyone's incredulation.
That's a blast from the past. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, hey, I'm a big fan of your comedy work. Yeah, Sergeant Sam Speed, a huge fan of Miranda. She is still on my top of my list to play Doctor Who someday. So fingers crossed that
she'd be amazing.
I think she would.
Yeah.
I think, of course, we'd have to bring you in as the master, but this is a panel for another day. So, yeah. But Tom, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm a little bit jet lagged, but I'm sure I'll cope.
We will get you go through it. Well, Tom, Leslie, welcome to the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Our team right now is going through the chat room, pulling out the questions for us. In the meantime, I would just like to throw this out. How did Lucifer begin for each of you?
You go, Tom.
It was pilot season in America, and it was basically, I got sent a load of scripts for lots of different things, and all of them seemed like the same script. And then this one script called Lucifer seemed very, very different and a lot of fun, and a character at the center of it that I was like, oh my gosh, after about 3 pages, I really want to play this guy. So I went and met Len Wiseman, who was directing it, and thankfully he also agreed that I should play that guy. So that's pretty much how it started, and then that was the beginning of of a long and winding and very fun journey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it was just a cinch like that. Oh yeah, you're the guy. You're the guy.
It weirdly was a little bit that way, but that's like, it's taken me 20 years to get to that point though.
Yeah. It takes that long to become an overnight success, as we all know in this business. But absolute kudos to everyone who involved in that creative decision to cast you in that role, because obviously it's taken us here, and you're absolutely right. What an amazing ride it has been. So, okay.
No, I was going to say, go on, Ella, you tell your story.
No,
Interesting. I haven't got any more to add to that. It's just
no, Leslie, how did
it was the same thing, except I didn't. It wasn't you're the one. I auditioned. And again, I was on that pilot, doing pilot season, and in 1 week I tested for 3 shows, Lucifer being one of them. Didn't get any of them. So Lucifer actually originally casted another actress to play Mazikeen, and they had a table read, I guess, where the powers that be decided that they hadn't maybe found.
They've made the wrong choice.
And then I got one of those calls at a photo shoot where it's like, hey, we're reinstating your deal and we want you, to be this character. And I was so happy and so grateful, because I was like at the end of that week just being like, what am I doing here? And I really liked Tom. I read the pilot, and I actually sent a message to Jeff Johns. I was like, oh my gosh, this is an hilarious character. Who knew the devil could be like so funny? And I wasn't very well versed in the DC comic, Vertigo or any of the comic books really. So
don't worry, Jeff Johns is.
I was very excited. I was very happy to join the show.
Again, it was a delight to see you in action. It was a delight to see the character arc and the ups and downs and the journey. And the journey both your characters really did. And we'll no spoilers about on the horizon, but absolutely we're looking forward to see what the future has in store for all of us.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, both characters have gone like full evolution really in the show, which is I don't think either myself or Leslie would have thought that when we first read this script, like that's the journey that they would have sent us on. But
and at times our stories kind of mirror each other's, our parental issues, our relationship issues.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And a feeling of like maybe you're not worthy, very similar.
Yeah.
What's the best memory you're gonna take from being a part of Lucifer?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I think that it's not very often that you do something that takes hold like this and really captures people's imagination. I think you always hope when you start a job that might be the case, but you just never know. But I think that. God, there's so many memories to take away from this. I think the group of people that we worked together with was very special, and we have a very special connection with each other because of the journey that we all went on together. Because behind the scenes, it wasn't always smooth sailing, I think our interaction with our fans, to be quite honest, has been like a huge part of what this experience has been as well, and the fans saving the show. And you got 50% more, 100% more episodes than you would have got if the fans hadn't watched it, basically.
Yeah. I think for me, it's also seeing a character from beginning to end. It's rare now that a show does 6 seasons and you get to finish it the way you want to, and you get an opportunity to do a noir episode where you're playing different characters, or a musical episode, or that and then I think also just as Tom said, the group of people and the kind of families that we made with our crew. We are so incredibly close to our crew, and I was always really proud of people who day played or guest stars who came in and said, I heard that this is such a fun set to work on, everyone's really lovely. And that made me feel good, because we've all been on the opposite side where we're guests on another show and it's not that welcoming, and it sort of makes it hard to do your job. So I was very proud that that was our reputation.
I would absolutely concur, and I concur you about the noir episode. I've been saying for years that you could do a black and white noir. You know, it's like a classic Gumshoe without all that, and the costumes and the photography in that episode was just beautiful.
Yeah,
and those outfits must have been fun to wear.
Oh
Mine,
my gosh,
not so much. I was like, I'm just gonna sit.
Yeah. You looked amazing though.
What mattered, right?
Well, there are
had so much fun shooting that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was so different to the way that we normally shoot an episode of Lucifer as well. So it was just a whole different experience for everybody, really, including the crew. Everyone was giddy with excitement about it, and that was the episode that everyone really wanted to watch when it came out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for indulging my questions. We have some for our audience, so let's go ahead and roll to our first one. And here's one from Sylvia, who wants to know, who were your celebrity crushes growing up? Oh, wow.
You guys are gonna laugh at me, but it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I'm not laughing. I'm in quiet appreciation with you.
That Bloodsport or like
Bloodsport.
Handsome, athletic, and flexible.
Yeah.
I used to have this poster of him doing the splits across the kitchen counter, like above my bed.
Amazing.
Tom, who is yours?
Mine was I don't know, not everyone in America knows who this is, but Kylie Minogue was mine.
Yes.
Kylie Minogue, when she was in an Australian soap opera called Neighbours before she was a famous pop singer, and I used to watch Neighbours with my sisters all the time, and she played Charlene, and she married Jason Donovan's character Scott, and I just had a huge crush on her because she was a bit of a tomboy. And she wore like I had a poster on my wall of her in these kind of like denim dungarees with like a bit of oil smeared across her face and then the big curly hair. And I just was like, that's her, that's it, that's my crush right there.
Fair, awesome,
That
Sylvia.
was my cassette tape. Like I got a red boombox for Christmas. My first tape was a Kylie Minogue.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should be so lucky.
And Jason Donovan. I mean, like,
Jason Donovan had an album called 10 Good Reasons. I remember that about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are totally. This is the two like.
Yeah, I know. This is what happens. We're basically
Sorry.
behind the scenes. Leslie Ann and I just like reminisce about old British Commonwealth experiences.
Yeah.
Because Leslie Ann obviously grew up in South Africa, so we had a lot of like references that none of the Americans would get at all.
Nice, very nice. Well, feel free to lay them on here as thick as you want because we are an international show. And Sylvia, thank you. Great question. From Gabriella, if your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Right now, for me, it's work. I've had the week from like, it's just like, and trying to be a mother. Yeah.
Something to do with traveling, probably. They call him the Wanderer. Yeah, the Wanderer. It goes around. Yeah, that's probably my one. Because I see.
I'm the type of guy that likes the yeah.
Yeah, that
I
one.
can see that. Yep.
There you go.
Could totally see that. Gabriella, thank you. Very fun question. What do we have next? Here's one from Ayub. I hope I pronounced that right. What job would you have done if you had not become an actor?
Ooh.
I already had jobs before I was an actor. I worked in sales and marketing for Red Bull, actually. And I ran their hotel portfolio in New Zealand. And I was an IT recruitment consultant as well at one point in my life. I could hire you, coder, data analyst. But I think if I I had a choice, it probably would have been something in like social services with kids. You know, I was really, I wanted to do that straight after high school. Actually, was to go and travel and through Africa, and my father was like, I don't know that my 18-year-old daughter should be traveling alone. Sort of, but yeah, probably something in social services.
Fair.
So if you used to work for Red Bull gives you wings, but when you came onto your new job with me, you chopped my wings off.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I actually was one of those Red Bull girls. You know,
Oh my God.
in the Mini.
In the little Mini with the Red Bull cannon.
I set my driver's license in a Red Bull Mini, and I went to and you should see me pulling up there, and I was like, "You guys want a free Red Bull? Like, pass me now."
My sister-in-law did that as well.
Yeah, it was fun. It was so fun, and I did it, and then I went to my boss, and I was like, "I'm way too ambitious for this role. Like, I want to work for this company, and I love it, and I love the brand." And then he's like, "Okay," he just created a role for me in the sales team, and then like told me to go to Volkswagen, bought me a new car, and I was like, "Okay, this is happening." Like, it just, I don't know. I've had this kind of career where people they were like, "All right, you're hungry, you're ambitious. Here, go for it," you know?
Right on. Very nice. Glad to see people recognized it. and encouraged it. Not like, yeah. Just hand out the drinks. Yeah. That's
What did you do? What would you do, Tom?
I'm obsessed with sport. So basically, I used to want to do something. Yeah, I would be a professional golfer if I was good enough. That's the thing. Like, I would have loved to have been a professional sportsman, but all the sports I played, I wasn't good enough to be, to go pro in any of them. But I think something to do with sport, like either like as the physiotherapist that would run on the pitch with the magic sponge, because then at least I'd get to run out in front of the crowd. Or something along those lines. Sports injuries and physiotherapy was where I was sort of aiming for before I got the acting bug.
Fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A Tarek. You could have been a Tarek.
I know, exactly. No one knows what that means. That's not one of our little references. That's the guy that Leslie Ann and I go to when we feel like we've been beaten up. Yeah. To fix us, basically.
There you go. The trainer. Right? Hey, fun question. Thank you so much. Here's one from Maritza. What career dreams would you like to achieve that you may not have yet?
Ooh. Well, I know that I started out in the theatre, and I love the theatre, and I've always wanted to do something on Broadway, which I've never done yet. So that would certainly be a box to tick there. And I don't know, just keeping it going, basically. Keeping it going. That's my dream.
That's every actor's dream is having a next gig.
Exactly.
I'd like to say I'm fulfilling my dreams every day. It sounds a bit corny, but I only started this 12 years ago, so it hasn't really been that long. But I got some really good news this week. A show that I'm creating, we have a production company, a very big production company that's going to produce a show that I've created and would star in. So, I think I'm dreaming. I'm always dreaming, and I think it happens every day. Yeah.
I think you've got to be a bit of a dreamer to be in this industry as well, because it's so weirdly, you get such a huge amount of projection that's not normal amount of projection, and you've still somehow got to kind of pick yourself up and believe that you are capable and that you can do things that other people can't, or you have a unique quality that other people don't have. So you kind of got to be a bit of a dreamer, and it's it's all right to dream. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Maritza, thank you. Very fun question. What do we have next? From Ginger. What is your favorite song to sing?
Oh, goodness me.
I quite like John Legend's Ordinary People.
Where's ordinary people?
Yeah. Do you know that song? This ain't a movie, y'all. Yeah, I love that song. Like vocally, it's like a good like range for me.
It sits nicely for you.
I know.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Favorite song to sing? Well, I mean, the first song that I kind of learnt on the guitar was Revolution by Tracy Chapman. I do love singing that song. And again, that sits in a nice sort of vocal range for me. There you go.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Chapman.
No, she's marvelous.
No, absolutely not. Ginger, thank you. Very great question. What do we have next? Here's one from Catherine. What has the highlight been of playing your character on Lucifer?
Shall I go, LA?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, God, there's so many, but I think I have to go back to the pilot when we're shooting the pilot. And thinking about, I think the first like 5 days of the pilot, we did a night shoot, and we were shooting on Hollywood Boulevard, and we had it closed off for us, and it was literally where they have the red carpet for the Oscars, opposite the Dolby Theatre. That's where we were shooting, and it was a little bit like, I can't believe this is happening. I was just having like a pinch me moment every time, because it just felt like this little kid from Sheffield was like dressed up in a nice suit in Hollywood, and like the name of the show and all that sort of stuff. It was all these kind of things just kept going on for me. I was very, very grateful that I was there, put it that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. I think mine's the pilot too. The very first time you are in Lux, when you're seeing Lucifer, and David Bowie had passed, I think, like a week or something before. A few days before, and we had Fame playing on repeat for that initial Lucifer intro into Lux, and I just always, it's the same way I felt when I worked in New York, and I was like, wow, I'm shooting in New York, like just you're grateful, and it was such a big, we shot in in a real club, so it wasn't the replicated, Lux version. It was like real. There were lots of people. There was no COVID. Everyone was hot and sweaty and sexy. And
I believe there was a snake as well at some point. I remember walking past and there was a snake around, like they were in the Britney Spears Toxic video, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
And then they're like, "And Leslie Ann, so now he's gonna go down and Patrick, this is your intro into the show."
That's right. You were being looked after, weren't you?
I was. Can't complain.
Catherine, thank you very much. Great question. What do we have next? Here's one from Maria. Oh, what is your biggest fear?
This is gonna be so dark, but it's like, I think it's that parent thing of just anything horrific. Anything happening to your child. Outliving my child, I think, is my biggest fear. Yeah. I
was going to go with heights, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to echo what Leslie Ann just said, because it's, as a parent, I think it just goes straight to there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's your biggest fear.
Yeah, I don't fear much.
No, that's true. She really doesn't, actually. I think heights for me, I'm terrible with heights.
Really? You and Chris? Do you know Chris
Terrible.
would go up the fucking Eiffel Tower by myself?
I would have done that. That's got railings and stuff.
No, I'm totally outing him now. My husband was scared to go. And here's me, like a fucking loser, standing there going like, can you please take a photo of me alone? While all these couples are like, oh,
you're trying to frame him in down on the ground, like the speck. It's just that little speck down there. Just get him in.
He's gonna hate me.
I mean, I used to think
it's gonna be great.
I used to think I could do like bungee jumps and like skydiving and stuff like that. But I think now I just don't know if I could do it. I don't know why.
Did you do it? Have you ever done it?
No, I've never done it. Never done it.
I've bungee jumped twice, skydived, glided, been in an aerobatic plane, it's literally a joystick and they're like, here's the ground.
I did that for my 50th a couple months ago. I did the barrel rolls and all that.
I said to the guy, I was like, just do everything. I'll never do this again. Just go crazy. And he's like,
Oh my God.
I was all set when they did they make you put on a parachute?
Yeah, and as I leveled out, that's when I started to feel sick. So I just grabbed the little bag next to me and I did the most politest vom into the bag. It was like, wrapped it up, put it to the side.
I got queasy at one point because I felt the G's after you stabled out. I was like, oh, my, I just put my arms out and the cool, okay, fine. But yeah, I thought he'd be strapped in. And then they said, oh, yeah, you got to put on your parachute first in case an exit is necessary. I loved how they use that term. So we are scaring the crap out of Tom with all this.
I mean, yeah.
So you're not going to Tom Cruise it down like a building for any role anytime soon.
I mean, weirdly, I get braver when the camera's rolling. Like there was a scene in Lucifer last year when I had to put my hand in a bag and just grab a snake out of it. Now, I'd never do that in real life, ever. But because I was in front of a load of people and they said action, I was like, okay. Strange. And weirdly, I played a bungee jump instructor very early in my career as an actor on this comedy show here, and it was, and they said someone needs there was 2 bungee jump instructors, and one had been very vocal about the fact he was scared of heights, and I was like, no, I'm fine, secretly terrified. So when they said one of you needs to go up in the cage for this part of the filming, because it's one of those ones that hangs from a crane, so you're like a little cage. The other guy had said that he was scared already, so I had nowhere to run. I was like, okay, I'll go up. And it was like strapped on, I had a carabiner and all that, but I was literally just like all the way up.
No.
But I was playing the instructor, so I was meant to look cool.
Oh no!
Awful.
Did you ever get weird when you had to do the wing stuff, like when you were up on the harnesses and stuff?
No, the cable work. No, not really. I'm just trying to think. Not really. I think once you've done it, it's one of these that classic one. Once you've done it once, then you're kind of like cool with it. But we got a bit more adventurous with the cable work as the show went on. Actually, there's some stuff we did in season 6 where I'm like, God, we'd never have tried that before, and they've never asked me to do that.
Yeah.
Nice. Maria, fun question. Thank you. And a reminder to our audience, if you would like to chat with our guests like I am now or purchase a personalized autograph, please sign up at galaxycon.com. And let's go ahead and roll another one. And here's one from Grace. Ooh. Which Disney character would you like to be?
Oh my gosh.
Maleficent.
Oh.
I think I am her.
Have you got the big headpiece?
I don't know. I'm not really a Disney person, I have to say. I didn't grow up on Disney characters.
You strike me as a Disney princess, LA.
Yes, very much so. I have never even been to Disneyland.
Oh my gosh. It's
I go for the teacups.
I was an actor at Disney World for 13 years, and it's worth going to. It's worth going to at least once in your life, especially when your kids reach that magic age of about 6 and 7. That's the good year when they're not scared of everything and they're wondrous or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's the Cars ride's great as well, by the way.
Oh yeah.
The Cars ride is great.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you into a little secret. I auditioned and got very close to playing the part of Gaston in Beauty and the Beast that my friend Luke Evans actually ended up playing. And I really wanted it at the time, just because I loved the original cartoon so much, and he was such a douche, but funny douche. Yeah. And I was just like, I really, 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 really wanted to do that. So that's probably it. That ship has sailed. But my good friend Luke has got it, so I don't mind.
Yeah, I could totally see how you've been a very, very strong contender for that. Absolutely.
Just a lot. It's so much fun, and the songs were so funny, and yeah. And Josh Gad had already been cast in it, so it would have been like, oh, it would have been fun. Anyway, I ended up doing a show called Lucifer. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah. It's cute. It's cute. That's showbiz. Grace, thank you. Great question. What we have next from Hannah. Who broke character the most on the set? And I assume in an amusing, funny way, crack up, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be Lauren.
It has to be Lauren.
But because it's always like, who's least like their character is Lauren.
Yes.
And so because Chloe's kind of like the straight guy in the double act kind of thing, you know, very kind of like, and the gravity of the show. But when the camera isn't rolling, Lauren is bonkers and hilarious and funnier than all of us put together.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but gradually as the show goes on, more of Lauren seeps into Chloe, like her mannerisms, her eye, like all of that. It's all Lauren.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so we know we have to get them back here at the GalaxyCon virtual stage. All right, Hannah, thank you. Very fun. What we have next from Claire. Any pre or post shooting rituals you may use to get into your character?
Drinking.
Yeah, fair.
For both pre and post.
Yes. Tom, you said that so seriously.
I know. I tried to give it the deadpan. Yeah, drinking.
Interesting.
I use music quite a bit.
Yeah, but I think we in LA both use music. We annoy other people with our music there, but basically playing music to get us into moods and stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
And I always anytime I went into the makeup trailer, I'd want to put music on because I couldn't bear the sort of silence and the hair dryers and the muttering. I just kind of want people to get going.
That's the bummer about COVID, you know, is that we weren't able to have that morning kind of ritual in the trailer with everyone.
Yeah.
But music for sure. Definitely for the emotional stuff, you know. There's always a song that triggers something, some memory, something. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Claire, thank you. Very nice question. What we have next from Mark. What was your favorite therapy scene?
Ooh. I think for me it was probably in season 1 actually, and I think it's episode 5 of season 1. It's the first time that Lucifer kind of like breaks the charm in front of Linda, and she says something that really gets under his skin about being the devil, and you can see for the first time this kind of like there's a moment of danger between the two of them, and she thinks that maybe she's pushed it too far as well. But I think that scene for sure, and then tied in with the scene when I show her my face in season 2. For sure.
Yeah, that's a great scene when you show the face. Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh gosh.
Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. Let me turn it off.
Yeah, it's going great. You're fine. Yeah, keep going.
I would probably say maybe one of my faves was where you and I do therapy together. That time after we just beat the shit out of each other. You know, and there's like a realization that Lucifer has, like, oh shit, I didn't tell her that I wouldn't leave her. You know, I just assumed she would know, and kind of seeing Maise's vulnerability. But yeah, that was a very sweet scene.
Yeah, I concur. Mary, thank you. Lovely question. What do we have next from Evelyn? Was there any scene you found uncomfortable for any reason?
Oh my gosh. Someone's really trying to get hold of me, and I don't know what that's all about. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Is there any scene
uncomfortable for any reason? And this includes effects. Maybe you're in the harness. Maybe you had the makeup on.
Oh my gosh, I will tell you that the scene where we shot, there's a dream sequence where Chloe falls off the balcony and Lucifer sort of dive bombs. And I had to I was hung upside down with this harness on with a big green screen behind me and this huge like wind cannon blowing at me and shouting. And I was in that position for probably a good couple of minutes.
Oh.
So when I got down, I didn't feel normal for about an hour afterwards. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
But probably that.
Fair.
Is there anything I felt uncomfortable with? I mean, just the general cold, because she doesn't really wear much, you know? Like Vancouver.
Yeah.
I mean, at night when you're like, hey, it's LA, and you're like, no, it's -12. Like, it was that was probably uncomfortable. Like Vancouver winter, trying to
trying to replicate Los Angeles.
Yeah, trying to replicate.
Yeah.
I just remember constantly being cold and like finding old hand warmer things like in every jacket I owned. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. Eveline, thank you. Fun one. What do we have next? From Nikita. Do you share any traits with your Lucifer character?
We both, me and Lucifer both love a pun, and one may have fed the other there, but like I kind of, he's kind of like his love of like jokes and cheekiness and stuff like that. That's very much my sense of humor. There you go.
Yeah, I think I share a lot actually with Maze. And I think it's exactly what Tom just said before. You touch on like all your characters are filtered through you, right? So her experience of like trying to figure out humanity was very much my experience of trying to figure out at 17 New Zealand, you know, when I immigrated, or finding my way here in America 10 years ago. I always say I played it like an immigrant from hell, you know, just trying to sort of suss everyone out and figure it out. And I think her fire is definitely, I have that. And her compassion, you know, for people and kind of seeing an injustice and saying something or doing something. I share that with her for sure.
Sure. Absolutely. Great. Nikita, thank you. Very fun question. What do we have next? From Hishma. Hope I pronounced that right. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
You don't have life figured out. It's fine.
What advice would I give my 18-year-old self? Gosh, so much. So much advice. But I would kind of strongly encourage them to believe.
Yeah.
You know, when others around you kind of are maybe suggesting that you should move on to other things, I think I would advise them to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's good advice for any 18-year-old. Definitely. Kishba, thank you. Nice question. What do we have next? From Josen, how much of your characters will keep living in you in future projects?
Oh my gosh.
I think we put it to bed when the show finishes, you know? I think you always put a bit of yourself into every character. But I think, you know, I would like to think that Mazikeen exists on Lucifer in our version, and there's actually a new Mazikeen on the Sandman series that Neil Gaiman's doing that I'm very excited to see, and you know I cheer the production and the actress on very well because we took a very small sliver of the world and created our own version. But I think I personally would love to leave her there. And the gift of doing what we do for a living is that we get to then take on, you know, something new, something else, you know, tell a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the lovely thing. It's weird. I've just started getting my head into a new script of a new job that I'm doing, and it's very difficult. Like doing it out loud, I was like, "Oh God, you sound like Lucifer." Like it's just trying to sort of shake off some habits of like the last 6 years, basically. But you know, like as Leanne's saying, it's like it's lovely to be able to put them to bed and start afresh, and you know, start from the very beginning with the character again.
Yeah,
that's a really fun. You know, that's fun for an actor. The rehearsal room and all that sort of stuff.
very much so. Those opening reads. Jason, thank you. Fun question. I think we have time for one, maybe two more. Let's see what we got. What do we got here? From Alita. How many takes did it take to get through a scene on Lucifer?
Depends on the scene.
Yeah, that's a pretty. Yeah, that
it really depends on the scene and also like the type of like shot that you're doing. So, for example, in the last season, Leslie Ann had this, and I would say Leslie Ann and I, but it was Leslie Ann. I was just behind her throwing people that she'd already like finished with. But like, we did a scene that was a big stunt scene, to go and find Vincent, and we tried to do that in one shot. Well, we did do it in one shot, and so that if you're doing something in one shot, then you try to do it on a stunt as few times as possible. But you may well end up you have to do it till you get it right, because you're only going to use it the one thing. Whereas if you're doing a scene that has lots of like different moving parts to it, and you're shooting lots of different parts to it, you might only do 1 or 2 takes on different sizes, because in the edit that you're not going to use them. So
Yeah.
It just depends really on what the scene is.
And it depends also how funny the scene is, because sometimes
You get the giggles.
Or not even. The scenes that are funny are not always the ones that you're laughing your way through.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes you're really tired and like you're doing a scene that is not a funny scene at all, but for some reason something's happened or whatever. I remember shooting a scene with Lauren and Coleman Domingo, who guested as Father Frank in the first season, and we did a scene in a church, and it was a scene about an investigation. It was nothing to do with comedy, and we could not, for the life of us, get through this scene without. If one of us looked at the other person, we just went. So it's just like for so many reasons, but normally exhaustion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a fun way. Aletta, thank you. Very fun question. I think we have time for one more quick one. Let's see if we can go on a really fun one. And here's one from Steve. Do you have a favorite line from Lucifer, from your character or another character? I like that caveat.
Ah.
I always loved Speak of the Me.
Yeah, Speak of the Me. Oh my me was so funny. Oh my
me. I made that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens quite a lot on Lucifer.
Yeah. The juice that lives. Yeah. Do I have a favorite? I don't know. I think Oh my me was pretty. We chuckled after this like big fight, and Chloe almost dying, and good versus evil war, and then just that little.
I will always love Maze's little scene when she's at the bar and Lucifer comes up and says, well, I just had some fun upstairs. You're like, really? And you're like, thank you, you can go. And the bartender gets up from whatever he was doing under the bar with her.
Yes. Yes.
I can tell you what he was doing, Patty.
I would love to hear it, but unfortunately, Steve, thank you so much for a great question, and GalaxyCon viewers. This has been my time with the cast of Lucifer, but it absolutely does not have to be yours. If you'd like to chat with our guests like I have today, or purchase a personalized autograph, please sign up at GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, please check out our schedule of upcoming events just like this one. Leslie and Tom, this has been an absolute delight. Any final words for our audience before we go?
Oh my gosh. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you've really enjoyed 5B, and I can't wait for you. This is the first convention I've done since season 5B's dropped, so I'm looking forward to the questions and the discussions.
Awesome.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much for watching. From what I've read, I don't think Tom and I have watched the show, but it seems that people are really enjoying it, so I'm very grateful. Thank you for supporting us for 6 years. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't know if it cost me my mortal soul, but it's been my absolute pleasure to serve you both today. Thank you for joining us on the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Thank you to our audience for joining us today, and thank you for those terrific questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone.